This is the MHS Pawdcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School.
Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS. I'm Eddie Kalegi. It's School Spirit Week here at Metuchen High School. It's been a fun week so far, and I'm very excited to see what else comes here in School Spirit Week. After the school announcements, I'll be joined by Metuchen High School Student Council Advisor, Miss Wagenblast, to promote this Friday's Battle of the Classes festivities. Then Josh Hyman will join us, and we'll be doing an in-depth Metuchen Spring Sports preview. So let's get into the school announcements. Battle of the Classes culminates in the gym on Friday at 4 p.m. Should be done around 5:30 p.m. We'll find out more about that in just a moment with Miss Wagenblast. The Pi Day food drive has begun. Donations of non-perishable circular food items will be collected in room 119 between now and March 20th. Some teachers are even giving extra credit for participating. There is now school next Friday, March 22nd, after the snow day last week. The MHS Spring Play is nearing. Performances of The Wedding Singer will be Thursday, March 28th, Friday, March 29th, and Saturday, March 30th, all at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. Stay tuned for ticket information. So let's get into our interview with Miss Wagenblast. Welcome back to the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS. I'm Eddie Kalegi. The Metuchen student body is as passionate as ever this week. It's School Spirit Week. To discuss that and this Friday's Battle of the Classes, it's great to be joined by English teacher and MHS Student Council Advisor, Miss Wagenblast. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Eddie.
So when did you first become the head of the Metuchen Student Council, and what does this position entail?
So this is my fourth year running Student Council. My first year, I worked with Mr. Giddis as a co-advisor, and then I took it over after that. And it involves mostly organizing the major events at the school, like the school dances, such as homecoming, the snowball, and then our big culminating event this Friday, Battle of the Classes.
So what is your favorite part about School Spirit Week? It must be great to see the school community coming together this whole week.
Absolutely. I think my favorite thing is that the students know that there is no kind of extrinsic award. They're not doing it for any kind of money. They're not even doing it for a certificate or a piece of paper that says that they were the winners. They're literally just doing it because they want to, and because they know that it contributes so positively to the school community. And I've never even had a single student ask me, what do we win? They just know it's Battle of the Classes, it's time to get the school amped up for Spirit Week, and it's really wonderful to see how many students not only participate in Spirit Week, such as things like Pajama Day, like we had today, but the actual event itself. We have about half of the school actually attend the event.
Yeah, it's very cool. I also heard you mention that this week is your birthday, so it's cool to have Dapper Day on your birthday.
Yes, I'm very excited. Actually, the Student Council students decided to do that. They thought that would be kind of like a cool bonus to have everybody dressed up nicely for my birthday, since I'm the advisor and everything. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
So for freshmen and new students to the district, tell us a little bit about Battle of the Classes.
So there are 8 events. 2 are considered the major events, and that is a skit that each grade needs to plan ahead of time and then perform for a panel of judges. And then they, at the end of the event, there's also the other major event, which is the lip sync battle, which tends to be the highlight of the event itself. And same thing, they've choreographed it and worked on it, and they put together musical mixes, and they lip sync to the lyrics. And then there are smaller events such as basketball knockout. We do an egg and spoon race. We do a toilet paper mummy wrap. And so it's a great opportunity for students to get involved, because no one student can do more than one event. So they have to get a lot of people on board and to volunteer their time to come out and participate in one of the events. So for freshmen or students who are new to the district who are looking for an opportunity and a way to get involved in the school, Battle of the Classes is great, and just Student Council overall is a wonderful opportunity. It's one of the largest organizations in the school for the students to get to meet new people.
And I imagine there's a lot of strategy that goes into it with the students as well, picking, since everyone can only be in one event.
Absolutely. For the toilet paper mummy wrap, they try to pick the shortest student to wrap. For the spaghetti and marshmallow tower, they actually plan ahead of time. They practice building a tower out of spaghetti and marshmallows so that they're ready on game day.
So are there any new events this year, or does it stick to like the same traditional events from year to year?
We have changed events in the past. Actually, actually, the Spaghetti and Marshmallow Tower is relatively new. This is only the third year that we're doing it. And we've tried other events in the past, and I actually let the students vote, do you want to come up with some new ideas? And they're pretty comfortable with a lot of the events. We make minor changes here and there to the way that they run, but our newest event for sure is the Spaghetti and Marshmallow Tower, which the students seem to like, and so we've decided to keep.
So last thing, I wanted to get your pick. Which grade level do you think will come out on top this year?
Oh boy, I don't know. I know that there are some grades that are going for a repeat winner this year, but I have to say, the freshmen, they're ready for a fight. I know that there's a great source of competition between the juniors and seniors, and they're going at it. And the sophomores, I know they were very proud of the fact that they did not come in last for every single event last year, and so they're certainly looking to move ahead. And we have had sophomore classes in the past win the entire event overall, so it is possible. So I'm not saying anything. I'm going to remain unbiased, but I really feel like everybody has a fighting chance this Friday.
Well, that's about all the time we have. Battle of the Classes is this Friday at 4 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
Miss Wagenblast, thank you for joining us in the Metuchen High School podcast.
Thank you very much, Eddie.
So when we come back, Josh and I will be doing a spring sports preview. This is the Metuchen High School podcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High.
Having trouble seeing the board in class? Do you need safety glasses for your school sport? If you answered yes to either of these questions, head over to Optique Unique, the eyeglass store at 406 Main Street in Metuchen. Optique Unique does it all. Not only do they offer eyewear for all ages, they also sell sports-specific safety glasses for kids and adults. Call them at 732-321-2020. That's 732-321-2020, or visit OptiqueUnique.com. Do you want to build character, build confidence, or even build yourself? All that and more can be accomplished at the Black Belt Institute at 23 New Street, right here in Metuchen. Students of all ages have been able to learn respect, discipline, fitness, and self-defense from their experienced instructors for over 20 years. Whether you're an adult looking for stress reduction or know someone young who has interest in Taekwondo, the Black Belt Institute is the place to go. The Institute takes a fun approach at teaching the rules of self-defense, instilling in their students an I-can-do-it attitude. Interested in taking a class? Call them at 732-205-9797 or visit their website at blackbeltinst.com. Once again, that's 732-205-9797 or blackbeltinst.com. The Black Belt Institute, Metuchen's leader in martial arts and fitness. The MHS Pawdcast is also sponsored by Allstate Insurance at 63 Pearl Street in Metuchen. Allstate, are you in good hands?
Welcome back to the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online and radio voice of MHS. I'm Josh Hyman.
And I'm Eddie Kalegi.
As we enter mid-March, the spring sports season is just around the corner. The Metuchen baseball team came so close to a sectional title last season. Do they have what it takes to return to that level?
Well, it was a tough way for that season, and they only lost by one run in that game to Raritan after a big 8-3 win over Governor Livingston just 2 days before. And I mean, beating Governor Livingston in any sport, especially in baseball, is a big deal. Really stunk that they could not get it done in the sectional game and get their first sectional title since 1988. But there's a chance this season, so they have returning sophomores Gavin Abrams on the mound, Jackson Fenner in center field. Coach Danik has a solid pitching rotation, but he does have some work to do to replace Matt Volpe. You'll see Jay Harry a little bit on the mound as well this season. Should be a good season, but whether they make it back to the sectional title depends on how this pitching rotation performs.
Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting because, in any sport, if you lose that sectional title, if you go so far in those tournaments and lose, it's the worst. And in that next season, you want to work extra hard to get back to that level or go even further.
Yeah.
So I'm going to expect this baseball team to really come out of the gate just swinging and going crazy because I know they're going to really want to get back to those sectional titles, and they're not going to let anyone get in their way.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams, spring sports teams, that are going to be strong this season. I honestly think out of the 3 seasons, the spring sports season is Metuchen's strongest, where you have a bunch of teams that have chances to go very far in the state.
Yeah, definitely, and we've seen it before lose year with the track team winning the division, almost winning the sectional title. We've seen the baseball team, go to the sectional title, unfortunately lose. But I'm really going to expect big things from these spring sports. And coming off of last season's Blue Division title, what can we expect from the Metuchen softball?
Well, just like the baseball team, it was a very strong campaign for the softball team, specifically in GMC play. They had a 10-1 record in the division. It will be tough to replace graduating seniors from last year, Julie Pirro and Molly Walters, but other good players will step up. Emily Glutz is going to be one of the keys. She earned her 100th hit last season, a strong feat for any baseball or softball player. Bridget O'Connor, who's now a senior, performed well on the mound. Senior Rachel Weitzner, junior Julia Fenton, they'll also have to step up. This team could be destined for success, but in the Blue Division, they're going to have a good fight coming from Dunellen, who was right behind them last season with a 9-3 record in divisional play. So it's going to be tough, but I think this softball team has what it takes to succeed in the GMC this season.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like they have a pretty good lineup. Seems like they have pretty experienced players, but also some new players to develop for their upcoming years. So I think this softball team definitely has what it takes, just like you said.
So now, obviously, since you're part of the team, let me ask you, so how are you feeling about the spring track season? Could this be a spring to remember?
I think it definitely could. I mean, despite losing key seniors last year, such as Jake Beecher, Kalen Johnson, the boys' runners are looking very solid this year. Eddie Malag is back for his senior year. He's broken a lot of his records in the winter season with the indoor track season. We have Jai Dreyer coming back for the spring. He did basketball in the winter, but he's always a strong competitor whatever he's running or jumping. He actually set the jumping record last year for, I believe, the long jump for the freshmen. And we're getting a lot of new runners from, basketball, wrestling, stuff like that. So there are a lot of new, fresh faces to come and compete for this spring track team. A lot of new freshmen. The team's looking really big this year. And even for the throwers, in the winter season, we only had 12, 13 guys. Now we have 34. That's the biggest team in 8 years for this track team. We have a lot of freshmen, a lot of guys who are willing to come out, are excited to compete, and it's looking really good.
Yeah, and also you've got the girls track team, and after their performance in the cross country, one of the top teams in the state, what a season in the fall with seniors Camille Lucier, Nina Suss, plus freshman Molly Maleg, one of those other runners coming from basketball. I find spring track to be just a culmination of everything because you have a lot of athletes who participate in other sports in the fall and the winter, and a lot of them all come to this one team in the spring, and that's why Metuchen has had so much success in spring track over the years.
Yeah, I definitely think the influx of multi-sport athletes really helps because they get that cross-training in from other sports. They're staying strong during the winter where a lot of other people may be taking it easy during the winter. There are sports that are still in full swing during the winter that these people are competing in. They're getting stronger, they're getting faster, they're getting in better shape. And especially for this girls team, their distance team is going to be one to watch. As you said, Camille Lucier, Nina Suss, and Molly Maleg, they're all distance runners. And I think that's where the girls are really going to succeed in these distance events this spring. And after a 9-5 campaign in Group 1, how will the boys' tennis team fare this season?
Well, end of the last season saw now seniors Anwar DeSantis and Nate Strathman on the top of their games. Now as seniors, they'll have to serve as key team leaders because this team, out of all the spring sports teams, was maybe hit the most with the senior bug. A lot of seniors graduated. But even with that, there was a balanced attack from all grade levels. And you've also got Coach Thomas coaching that team, and he has a lot of coaching experience. Girls tennis, boys tennis, swim team. He is a full-time coach all year long with all these different teams. I think with his coaching ability and the guidance from DeSantis and Strathman, the tennis team could be destined for maybe even better than 9-5 in Group 1 this year.
I think you're right, Eddie. I think whenever you're coached by Coach Thomas, you can feel pretty confident that your team's going to be very good. He has a lot of experience. He's a great coach. He knows what he's doing with this tennis team. So I can expect them to get at least a 10-4 record this year. Mm-hmm. And lastly, what can we expect from the boys and girls golf teams this season?
Well, they have a great coach in Rich Stoner, so we go back to the boys first. They went 9-2 last season, but they did lose a lot of seniors, including Spencer Payro and Kevin Marrero. There could be a slight step back for this team. I'm not going to rule it out, but they have sophomore Nico Malamug, so I was with the golf team last season, and my goodness, his shots, they are so far. He was so comparable, even better than some of the seniors last season. So just solely with him, that should help this team. But as I said, Last year it was mainly in all the matches, it was Nico and the seniors. So he's like the only person returning who was playing in all the matches, so that's going to be kind of tough for this team. The girls had an above 500 season as well in 2018 and didn't lose too many seniors. I expect this team to grow behind the leadership of Maeve Kenny and possibly lead the way in the local area.
What you said about Nico Malamug, he's really the guy to watch here. Out of all the golf players, he's really been a standout performer. He's really good at golf. It's crazy. And like you said, it's going to be tough losing those seniors. But if he can come back and even just perform the way he did his freshman year, I think there's really nothing to worry about for this boys golf team.
Well, a lot to be excited about here in the spring sports season. That's about all the time we have today. A thank you to our guest, Miss Wagenblast. Remember, Battle of the Classes is this Friday at 4 p.m. I'm Eddie Kalegi.
And I'm Josh Hyman.
And this is the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS.